Hello friends. Welcome to our channel where history gets real. On an ordinary morning in 1864, the quiet hum of train traffic echoed through the heartland of America. It was just another day on the Iron Horse, or so it seemed. Gah. But little did everyone know that beneath the rhythmic chugging of the engine wheels, a storm was brewing. A storm that would shatter the tranquility of the rails forever. A violent robbery had shaken the foundations of the seemingly invincible Iron Empire, tearing, quarring. In a daring act of defiance, several notorious outlaws known as the Renos had laid siege to an express train, co-ed, and made off with a haul so valuable it sent shockwaves across the nation. This wasn't just a theft. It was a bold statement against the unchallenged authority of the railroad barons, Cohen. And now the aftermath of this audacious crime is casting a long shadow over the land, with their leader, legendary outlaw, Frank Reno, holding court in the nearby hills. The authorities are left grappling with the audacity of the heist and the very real threat posed by the gang. What will be their response to this unprecedented challenge? How will the railroad authorities seek retribution and restore order to their disrupted domain? And as the net tightens around the Renos, what will be their ultimate fate? Join me today as we delve into the riveting details of the Reno brothers' train robbery, an event that not only pushed the boundaries of lawlessness but also served as a catalyst for some of the most intense manhunts in American history. You won't want to miss this. So let's jump right into it. Dawn broke over the iron tracks, painting the prairie in streaks of gold and crimson, a silent reminder of last night's blood. The wreckage of splintered rails lay like shattered promises across the ballast. Yet amidst the ruin, rumors spread faster than any locomotive. Hefty bounties had been placed on the heads of the outlaws who dared to challenge the Iron Empire. As the sun climbed, railroad workers emerged, faces drawn and hollow-eyed. They stumbled past overturned crates and bullet-pocked carriages, caretakers of a shattered dream. We thought progress was unstoppable, one engineer muttered, wiping soot from his goggles. But last night proved that steel alone couldn't guard us. Beneath the rising locomotive's hiss, the first manhunters arrived. Pinkerton agents in dust-streaked coats, rifles slung over shoulders, eyes scanning every shadow for signs of escape. News of the daring robbery spread like wildfire, fanning the flames of outrage among the powerful railroad tycoons whose iron grip on the frontier was being challenged in the most brazen way imaginable. The magnitude of the heist, the audacity of the attackers, and the apparent vulnerability of the once invincible Iron Horse all conspired to create a maelstrom of public sentiment, demanding swift and brutal retribution. Telegraph wires crackled with orders. Each line carried a new bounty. $5,000 for each Reno brother, doubling if captured alive. Newspapers splashed headlines. $20,000 reward. Bring us our bandits. Town criers marched through dusty streets, bell in hand. Here the $5,000 for Frank Reno, $5,000 for John Reno, $5,000 for Simeon, $5,000 for William. Everywhere, posters fluttered. Gaunt faces under wide-brimmed hats, eyes locked on freedom and gold. Greedy hands snatched them. Dreams ignited by the promise of fortune. The manhunt was on. A massive dragnet was cast across the sprawling territories, leaving no stone unturned in the relentless pursuit of the Reno outlaws. The quest for the elusive gang became an obsession, a crusade to uphold the supremacy of the railroad and restore order to a land thrown into chaos. And as the sun set on each day, the tension mounted, the pressure grew, and the stage was set for a showdown that would reverberate through the annals of history. Gamblers chasing luck, even a few of the very outlaws they once called kin. Their methods ranged from cunning disguise to brutal ambush. In one infamous tale, a lone hunter tracked a Reno to a lonely water stop. Under cover of pre-dawn fog, he leaped from brush, shot the outlaw through the shoulder, and dragged him back to town with handcuffs that rang like church bells. It wasn't about justice, the hunter confessed years later by campfire light. It was about that metal glint. He held up a gold coin, its edges worn. This sang, louder than any bounty poster. Me. Meanwhile, back in town, the air buzzed with anticipation. Creak of floorboard, every cough echoing in the saloon. Every whisper in the wind carried the weight of the coming retribution. As the days bled into one another, the town became a crucible of anticipation, hope, and fear. Some whispered of leaving, abandoning the town to its haunted rails and uncertain future. Others stood firm, determined to stay and face whatever challenges lay ahead. Then there were those who found solace in simpler things. The baker, her oven stoked, kneading dough, finding comfort in routine amidst the uncertainties. The school teacher, chalk in hand, drawing pictures of bravery on the blackboard for her young pupils. Saloon keeper, wiping down glasses, his eyes distant, remembering a time before the terror of the train robbery. When life was simpler, the whiskey flowed freely, and the only sound that disturbed the night was the whistle of the approaching train. By midday, the rail company moved swiftly. Wooden fortifications sprang up at remote stations. Armed guards paced platforms, and telegraph operators stood sentinel at every milepost. We need to prove this iron highway can be tamed, the superintendent declared, voice echoing in the depot's cavernous hall. Townsfolk watched, wary but hopeful. Children whispered of returning trains, of reunions, long delayed. Bakers rose early to bake celebratory pies. Even the ranchers paused in their chores, glancing toward distant tracks, praying for arrival rather than attack. Drama. And so the drama unfolded, a tapestry woven with threads of fear, anticipation, and resilience. Commune, once thrown into disarray by the audacious train robbery, was slowly stitching itself back together, determined to rebuild, determined to reclaim its shattered sense of security. The spirit of the frontier, a blend of grit, determination, and unwavering resolve, shone through in every act of rebuilding, every shared glance of apprehension, every whispered prayer for safety. This was more than just a town on the Iron Horse. It was a testament to the human spirit, community bound by the tracks of their lives, and the unwavering belief in the triumph of hope over adversity. Townsfolk gathered at the station, faces etched with anticipation, eyes fixed on the horizon. The rumble of wheels on steel tracks sent a jolt of excitement through the crowd. Could it be? Was the train, their lifeline to the outside world, about to make its triumphant return? With each puff of smoke, each fleeting glimpse of an engine, hope soared and then dipped. The agony of waiting, of living under the shadow of uncertainty, was palpable. The train, more than just a mode of transport, represented connection, commerce, and a semblance of normalcy in a world turned upside down. As the days wore on, the tension thickened. Whispers turned to murmurs, murmurs to full-blown conversations. Speculating ran wild, fanning both fear and excitement. Then, as if on cue, a distant whistle pierced the air. Pute! It echoed over the hills, carrying with it the weight of 1,000 hopes and dreams. The people stirred, their heads turning in unison towards the source of the sound. The whistle blew again, closer this time, more insistent, more promising. In the distance, a plume of smoke rose against the vast canvas of the sky. It grew, it took shape, and with it, the pulse of the crowd quickened. The train was coming, last, with the setting sun as a backdrop. The train emerged from the haze of dust and distance. It moved with a stately grace, each puff of smoke telling a story of perseverance and resilience. Relief washed over the townsfolk, their faces breaking into smiles, their shoulders slumping with the weight of tension lifted. Children ran, their laughter echoing with the unbridled joy of innocence. Women and men embraced, tears of joy streaming down their faces. The train, battered yet defiant, had made it. It was a victory, a small but significant one. A reminder that even in the face of adversity, life, like the train, kept moving forward. And so, as the train pulled into the station, it was greeted not just with cheers, but with a celebration. A celebration of survival, of community, and the enduring spirit of the human will. In this moment of collective triumph, the people of the town reaffirmed the strength that lay in their unity, their capacity to endure, and their unwavering hope for a brighter tomorrow. Dusk fell. The rails shimmered under lantern light, rebuilt, reforged, and guarded fence. Yet somewhere, beyond the fence lines, the wind still whispered of revenge in restless steel. And that's our story for today. Now it's time for a little quiz. What was the highest bounty posted on a single outlaw's head? Pause the video here if you want to make a guess. Thank you for joining us. On this episode of Time Ghosts, if you enjoyed this adventure on the Iron Horse, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more thrilling historical tales, and for even more captivating journeys through time, be sure to visit our website. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and remember, the past is never truly gone. It's waiting for us to discover it, understand it, and learn from it. See you soon.